pleased to introduce tonight's curator, Raina Cohen.
The panelists who I asked to come here, I think will bring us into a very lively conversation because we can talk both at a bird's eye view about experiments in communal living over the last 2,000 years. Was there a point at which you started to see a conflict between what was out there and what you were actually feeling, like the devastation?
The message that I received is that friendship is kind of transitory or situational based on age and stage of life. Ultimately, you get married, you settle down, you have a family. And in my family, most of my siblings got married and had started having a family at a pretty young age, whereas I got married much older. And so, yeah, I think that it just sort of reinforced this idea that like I was waiting to kind of arrive in my life and that friends were for a season, essentially.
I thought this event was so wonderful. I really appreciated the diversity of the experiences on the panel and all the different identities. Came here with some notions of deep friendship floating around my mind, and this has really helped me solidify some of the values I hold around friendship and makes me want to be more intentional in how I go seeking that out in my life.
I really want to make sure that I keep my friendships really strong so that I can get to a point like this maybe one day. How can we keep, what kind of commitments can we make to each other that might not be as extreme as fully living together?
There's just nothing like someone who lives with you when life goes bad. Your car won't start, your friend who lives 20 minutes away, that's a whole other thing. 20 minutes is not far, right, from your friend, but they also can't really help you when your car won't start. That just became a whole thing for their day and yours. And so that daily sense of shared support is so meaningful. Yes, less privacy, that's been more of a sacrifice for him. Less control, which I do care about. My house isn't my house, right, necessarily. But also so much more support.
Yeah, I had an amazing time at this event. It was pretty incredible to have a room full of people who already had some level of buy-in, some level of we're here because we believe in the promise of friendship and community at the center of our lives. And many of us go through everyday life feeling a little bit weird about feeling that way. And there was just an almost holy energy to being in a space where everyone here felt like what matters in life is relationships and living through them and growing through them. So that was really cool.
I think that all three of the panelists here are really showing what is possible and how we can expand our imaginations.
I find that very hopeful, that there are so many, despite everything that's going on in the world right now, and there's a lot of bad stuff that's happening, that there's still this desire to build a future together, whether it's with friends or family or our romantic partners. The idea that's what militant optimism is. It's reaching out into the future, even if you don't know whether that future will be there for you. It's about faith, whether it's a spiritual faith or a secular faith in the future. That is radical. It feels really radical in this particular historical moment to believe that the future will come and to believe that we have the agency to make it what we want.